Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Coach's Couch. I'm your host, Nigat Harun, and today we will be discussing about breast cancer awareness. I have three beautiful ladies with me who will be discussing mind and body fitness as well. So I would like to start. Your doctor is your partner in your health. That means they are usually more than willing to answer questions you may have. But sometimes it isn't easy to speak up. You might be shy, embarrassed, or afraid of a potential diagnosis. So let's start with an introduction. I have Snehal with us. She's a cancer survivor and she is a warrior as well. So let's start with an introduction with her. Hi, Snehal. How are you today?
Hi, Nigat. Wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, Snehal, tell our audience more about you and where you are at your journey.
Yes. So Nigat, I was born and brought up in India, Mumbai. I am an HR professional, have about 13 years of corporate experience. And we got an opportunity, me and my husband, to move to Singapore in about 2019. This was just before COVID hit. And it seemed wonderful. I was pregnant at that time with our first baby. I was, okay about taking a break. And, because after 13 years, I said, okay, I've been there, done that. I just want to figure the next adventure out. And we moved here in December 2019. I've been here since then. I had my baby in April during lockdown. And shortly after, 5 months down, that's in August, I was diagnosed with stage 4, that is called metastatic breast cancer, where the cancer had spread to my lungs, my liver, and my bone. And I have spent time from August 2020 to date, that's October. I'm still in treatment. And through this journey, I've gone through almost 30 cycles of different chemotherapy drugs. I've gone through radiation. I've gone through some other treatment called hormonal, but it becomes a little tricky because it's stage 4, and since it has spread. But I think the last 2 years, I've also learned a lot about myself. And I took up coaching during that period. It was something I had started earlier in my career, but never really saw it through. And actually, through my chemotherapy, through my treatment, I did my coaching, and now I'm a life and career coach. I'm also a facilitator. And honestly, I think I have learned to live a life, a new life, a Snehal 2.0, if I can say.
Metaverse or version 2?
Yeah,
Which one is that?
Metaverse.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm clearly enjoying this run right now. And at the same time, I'm also living with cancer.
I'm so sorry you have gone through such chemios and everything, and I know how harsh it is because my aunt also gone through with the breast cancer, and I have seen her once she is back from the hospital. The day is really hard for her to survive and to move or to just do the day-to-day things. So I'm really, really sorry that you are going through it, and I can see a really a warrior standing next to me and just telling me her story. So thank you very much for joining us today and giving the awareness to the audience as well. Snail, if you don't mind, I just want to know one more thing. What is your age? Because there is a myth that people think that cancer can be come in the stage of like 40 plus or when the woman is going through a menopause. Is that true?
So see, statistics wise, a larger population of women do get hit around 45 plus. There's a very small percentage of women that get hit below 40, but that number is also increasing. If I have to, I was 37 when I was diagnosed. I'm 39 now. If I have to put it in terms of percentage, only 7% of women who get breast cancer are below the age of 40.
Okay.
So you have 100% of whoever is detected with breast cancer, only 7% are below 40 as of now, but that number is increasing.
Yeah. And here I will add my journey as well, because I'm not a cancer patient, but I had a fibroid in my breast as well. And it was deducted in my early 20s. And at that time, because my family was going through with one of the cancer patients, so we took it really seriously. And I got a surgery, I got a removal, and I am living in my best life. But really, it matters if you take yourself seriously. If I will be like a person who can just like let it go, might be that could be not a fibroid, might be that could be a cancer as well, and I couldn't catch it early. So my case was with a lump. Did you had a lump as well?
No, I did not have a lump. That's the reason I think it must have reached a stage 4. Since I was breastfeeding, the only way I realized is because the milk supply in my left breast started going down. And I just decided to call a lactation consultant home. And even when she checked me, she didn't feel any lump, but she just thought it was something called as mastitis, which is a common, when you're breastfeeding sort of infection that you get. So she asked me to go to a breast doctor for that. And during that ultrasound, we figured something was wrong.
Oh, so it was during your feeding time.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's really hard. I guess these diagnoses are really hard. So let's take Rano and Agnes on board as well. So hi Rano, how are you today?
Hey Nigat, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Can you just tell our audience more about you and where are you at the moment?
Yes, sure, Nigat. So, hi guys, I am in India, Mumbai, and I am a coach. I'm a psychologist. I work as a life coach, mostly dealing with mind, body, and spirit. My journey with people has been more on the space of helping women come out of their stresses, their hormonal changes which occurs in their body, because of which there are a lot of ups and downs in the emotions and the body issues. That's where I work and I help them come out. I'm also being a psychologist. I also work on with especially women at the younger age, that's the teenage, because that's again the hormonal disturbances changes happening then. So I also help them cope with their life at that time, the prime time where they're forming their beliefs, their values, and so by and large, I work more on the space of stress, anxiety, any kind of challenges or issues. So it's not like only women, there are men also who come and join our programs. But yeah, it's a healing process, it takes time. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm working.
Thank you very much, Rano, for giving your introduction. Let's take Agnes on board. Hi, Agnes. How are you?
Hi, ladies. How are you doing?
We all are good. Cheers with the coffee.
Cheers. Thank you so much for having me here. It's so lovely, like listening to these stories here with I'm like, wow, it's so inspiring. The mindset, which is incredible. So for me, I am originally from Latvia, which is East Europe. And I had lived in US for a while, but then I came here and I have been in Dubai, which is here in Dubai. I live here for the last 16 years. And when I arrived here, I really I just, it's beach and sun and, everybody are always in t-shirts and little shorts. And I'm like, okay. And there, the gyms, the like kind of training and fitness is quite popular here. So I got into training and I fell in love with bodybuilding and I decided to become a coach. So a fitness coach and nutritionist. So I did my diplomas in sports science, and when I was taking on my clients, that was around maybe I started 8 years ago, and when I saw the change that happens within a person, and it's not about okay, I want to lose weight, so the person lost 5 kilos. It's not like it's the inner mind, it's the inner world that changes, it's the confidence that they gain, it's the mindset that shifts. And this is what I found, like people came to me and said, thank you so much, I found my husband, or I just had a baby. And I'm like, okay, well, it's, I don't know, I didn't find your
It's
husband, and I didn't.
Round of
So,
applause.
and she's like, no, it's because I lost the weight. I'm like, no, it's not because you lost the weight. It's because you shifted your mindset. You shifted the way you see yourself. And once you become accountable to yourself and you don't seek kind of confirmation from outside, you know who you are and you don't need that anymore. You attract good things in your life, and this is what really was like, okay, I love that part. I love that shift that happened. I'm like, I want to learn more about it. So I went into life coaching and I did the Jay Shetty course. So I got certified by Jay Shetty, and then I went into hypnotherapy as well, which I'm now level 1 hypnotherapist. But and it's all like connected. I don't think there is separation from physical health and mindset. It all kind of goes hand in hand. And this is why I have created programs for women to help them to gain back confidence, to feel confident in themselves, in their bodies, and just accept themselves the way they are. So, and yeah, that has been my journey so far.
Beautiful, guys, and it's lovely to have you guys on board. So let's take a little bit more deep discussion about breast cancer. And Snehal, I want to know more about it, like just to help understand better, what are the stages of breast cancer? So somebody who might needs to go for a checkup or might have any kind of a symptom, they can understand how the breast cancer is and what are the stages of them.
So technically, there are 5 stages that you go through, which is from stage 0 to stage 4.
Okay.
What defines them are 2 things typically. Just an easy concept is, where is it localized? Has it hit the lymph nodes? And sometimes even the grading, how aggressive it is and stuff. But primarily is it localized and has it hit the lymph nodes? So you have like stage 0 and stage 1, where it's primarily localized only in the breast, and it hasn't hit your lymph nodes as yet. And so stage 0 and stage 1 would be basis tumor size. How big is it? Up to 2 centimeters or 1 centimeter, how much? Then you move on to stage 2, 2, 3 are where it has moved into the lymph nodes. So again, it is tumor size probably could have increased. And how many lymph nodes has it hit? Basis which you have stage 2A, 2B. And then in stage 3 also you have 3A, 3B, 3C. So primarily that's what it decides. And stage 4 is where it has traveled beyond the lymph nodes and the breast, and it has hit other parts of your body. It can hit the brain, it can hit the bone, the liver, lungs, as I was mentioning. These also impact your survival rates. So there are different survival rates beyond 5 years. So statistics pegs saying, obviously, like you have a stage 0 and stage 1, where you'll have 100% survival rate beyond 5 years. But that keeps on decreasing as you go 2, 3, 4. Currently 4 is at anywhere between 25 to 29% possibility of surviving beyond 5 years. So only that much chance. But we have to understand that it's also geared for the older population, since the statistics is also geared there, with fewer younger women getting it at that age, below 40.
So what can one do for early detection or early diagnosis?
So typically what they say is below 40, it's ideal to get it done every 2 years, 2 to 3 years. Most countries, I think, in their executive health checkups, if you're with an organization, they do tend to have it. So you should just check up and see if a mammogram is available. So that's what typically you should do. Between 40 onwards, ideal to get it every year. And that is up to maybe age of 50, 55, they say. After that, again, you can go to an every 2-year concept. So after 40, definitely you should try to do it every year. If you have any sort of hereditary gene in the family, like a BRCA, it's always better to get the gene test done if you have it or not. So even I did it, though I had no history of any cancer in my family, I got it. Now, you have to realize many people think that I will get breast cancer only if there's somebody in my family who's getting it.
Yeah.
But they say that only 30% of the women who get breast cancer are women with the gene. 70% are women who have never had breast cancer or any history of cancer in their life. So, it's not that it'll happen to a stranger. It can happen to anyone. Like I was the stranger.
Yeah.
So it's just something we have to be cognizant of and take care of ourselves.
And give me a goosebump as well to check with my gynae, because I had a lump. So I could be a kind of on a radius where I can catch cancer. So yeah, I need to get back to my gynae this week.
And yeah, there are different cysts actually. Like, the other day, my helper came to me and she was paranoid and she had this lump. So we immediately went to the doctor, and it was a water lump, and she removed it. So it can be various sorts of lumps. It could be benign, but it's always
but it's always good to go to a doctor instead of just taking it. Yeah, it's normal. Oh, my auntie had it and she was fine. That never anything happened to her, or that person was having that lump since 10 years. It's fine, because I have noticed one thing. Once you have a lump, it even increases the size of the breast. People doesn't understand this and doesn't know that this could be a kind of enlargement in your breast as well, if you just even let it go, that no surgery needed, because doctors say that check with the medicines might be dissolved, but in reality it enlarge your breast. So that's what I have seen. So what are some of the lows people might go through when they are hit with such kind of a challenge? And I guess this question I will be taking towards all of you, so you can give some insights.
See, I think the first thing, at least with cancer, and considering I had no history, I didn't know anybody who had cancer at that point, I think my first thought was, I'm going to die. I was not aware of stages. I was not aware of so many things, right? Like most of us. And that's, and that's when I realized that, okay, medical advances have happened. I started reading up online. But then it also started scaring me a bit, because especially when you say stage 4 and you're given only a 30% chance of surviving beyond 5 years, you're like, oh my God, what's just happening?
Yeah.
So I think my first thought was, am I going to die? My second is, when chemo started, I started losing my hair. I started looking almost like an alien. I would look at the mirror every day and I wouldn't recognize myself. And that brings in a lot of hit into your self-esteem, what you feel about yourself. And after that, you start wondering, what will people say?
Yeah.
The typical in India, you would say, log kya kahenge concept.
Mm.
You start thinking that people will call you weak. They will call you, oh, tragic case. And, as women, we are not brought up like that. We always have this thing where we want to be considered strong, independent. That's how our parents have, raised us. And suddenly to be thought of as weak and, that's not something that, settled well with me. And I refuse to step out of the house. I refuse to meet people. And that's what typically happens to most of us. We go into a shell and we just want it to get over. You take, your life almost goes into a pause. And you think that as soon as it's done, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. But till then, I will not do anything with my life.
Your hopes and motivations are gone.
Yeah, you keep thinking, what will happen to my baby? What will happen to my family? What will happen to my parents after I go? And then, you have so many dreams for yourself. You want to make something of your career. You've had something that you wanted to do. So all that goes into pause and almost question mode. Will it ever happen? So there are a lot of these lows that you tend to deal with, the fears that you have, the self-esteem issues that you start suffering from. And it's like what Agnes said, right? It's that that how can you learn to take care of yourself and learn that internal validation is more important than external validation. People will tell you, nothing, don't worry, you will get well. How do you know? I mean, that's the best thing they can tell you to make you feel better. But sometimes that's not the right thing to say as well. So yeah, I think these were some of the lows that I got hit with.
Yeah, so I can completely relate to Snehal, because I had, though it was not a breast cancer in my family, my own brother's child, he was just 3 years old, he had been detected with leukemia. And he was, so they were in Jaipur, they came over to Mumbai because Tata Institute Hospital is here for, very famous for cancer. And he stayed with me for 2 years. And I can see, even the child gets impacted because the mother was so highly impacted. And it's all about in cancer, because after that I actually go to cancer hospital with the children. I go and I spend some time. I just make them feel a little happy, give them some happiness space, because I started doing since then when he used to go. And because I realized more than the child, it's the parents who are fearing. And that fear and that emotion, what the parent feels, the child is capturing it. And the child doesn't know what does it really mean to die. But because there is so acute fear of the parents, the child is going through the same. And that disconnection, that detachment from what is going to happen tomorrow is what is important in with the patients of all kind of cancers. Because that detachment that, okay, I'm going to die tomorrow, is not important. What is important is today how I'm dealing with, how in this moment I'm dealing with this. Because chemo, I know, Snehal, I have to say, hats off to you. It's such a stressful
Journey.
Because more than us, what the patient is going through, I don't think so we can ever understand unless you are a patient there. That's a very, very it's a stressful, because it really completely drains you off. I could see you, every muscle, every bone in the body is paining there. Like mentally, you don't have that, that level of even to look at people and talk. So your mental state breaks down because your internal, physical, and your emotions are not able to hold on. So emotionally, you're feeling so low already, and then you start draining physically.
So then obviously your mental cannot be there. So what you just spoke about, self-esteem and confidence, that's the last thing you actually think of, because you're still thinking in the space of survival instinct.
Yeah.
So it's like more than the patient. It's very important, I've realized, to bring that happiness every day, to make that effort to bring that happiness or create that happiness around the patient, of the person who is suffering. And the lesser the people, the positive people, the more are around, is what is important. It's not important that many people be around with them, because they already
Just bring some
suffocate.
positive vibes to
Oh
us. That's
yes,
all.
oh yes, 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 yes. That's the
Yeah.
only thing. And what survived, I think, so for my nephew, was that I had a similar age daughter, and they were like a year apart. And my daughter could see he's in pain. That empathy and compassion with which she used to meet him every day, and the way she used to get to him, to play with him, to engage him, even though he's not feeling okay, even he used to shout at her, it didn't bother her. She still went again the next moment to make him happy, to just engage in bringing that smile and happiness, crack jokes. And that's what used to, he used to look forward to, that okay, when is my sister coming back from school, I want to play with her. So hospital also used to keep saying, no, I want to go and play with her, I want to go and play with her. So that is what you need, that hope to survive, that yes, I have something to look forward to. I want to really survive every day of my pain. So this is very important, is what I realize, because
Yeah.
even in depression and anxiety and stress, where you're actually stuck, completely stuck. You just don't know how to come out of it. You are so feeling sad, because this impacts your career, this impacts your relationships, it's also impacting your own self-care, self-love, exactly what Agnes spoke about. Because you stop doing everything. As you get stuck, every function you stop doing. Physical activities you stop meeting people, you just want to be in yourself, you start cutting off people. That's the first thing you do when you're in the space of anxiety, stress, and depression. So this is similar thing which you even go through when you're going through a trauma like cancer. It's actually very traumatic to be there. So really, I have a lot of, I think, so gratitude to God that I have not been able to experience it, but I've seen people, and that has only taught me a good lesson to always keep my body, mind, and emotion, happy and in that safe zone.
What about you, Agnes? What do you like to add here?
Well, I wanted to actually kind of direct the question to Snehal, because she is the one in the situation where she would know. Like, let's say for me, I cannot personally say, because I cannot put her in her shoes, right?
Yeah.
I don't know this, but I can say from my experience, let's say I have a son who is autistic, and he has dyslexia. And for me, what I want from people is acknowledgement. I don't want people to say, oh, like I sometimes hear, yeah, but he looks normal. Like that doesn't help me. I like, or, oh, you're lucky because he's not like severely autistic. Like I want you to say, I understand. Like I might not understand, but I am here. Please tell me more about it.
What I can, like, how I can help you, what I can
how
do
can I
for
help,
you.
or what do you feel? Like sometimes it's just like when I have to, because I know then I'm in that situation where I need to pretend, oh yeah, I'm happy because I'm lucky, like, but it's not really. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay that you're going through that. It's like, like this is for me what I feel. And it's like I feel like people sometimes put too much into putting down the problem or putting down it and saying, oh, you're gonna be fine. And I'm like, you don't know
empathy
that.
and sympathy, I guess,
Yeah,
sometimes take you through
exactly.
some other direction. So
yeah. So sometimes I just wanted, like, okay, I want my friend to just come over and just to be just sit and have a glass of wine, or like just not trying to be so happy. It's it's not always 100% like that. So this is kind of what I wanted to ask. What would you like from people? How would you like them to react? I know a lot of people, when they see my son, they would pretend, or they would avoid that conversation. But like for me, I live with that. I have lived with that for 16 years, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay, and you can be okay with that as well, so yeah.
Yeah. We all have our own sufferings. We all have our own journey. And I guess we all are shining really nicely. We all are trying to take our lives in such a way where we can breathe, where we can move forward. Yeah, but still the acceptance, because I have an autistic child as well, so I can relatable here. And the same thing, I can relate the cancer survivor, how it goes every day, what are the challenges they face. And I've seen, because my aunt died in the end. She couldn't survive. She was the on really last stage, and even after the chemo, she got some small pimple on the backside, and it really just got so bad by days, I guess, days, and we just lost her. So it was just shocking for the whole family, and she was a single mom as well with the 4 kids. So, but still, they were elder. They were not really young to survive or take care of themselves. But yeah, it was shocking for the family, because even anyone from your loved ones gone, it's like nobody can just replace that pain. So let's take it further. So, Snehal, if there was one thing you could have done better before the news of the cancer, what would be that?
So Nikat, I think firstly, people need to ensure that they have health insurance, right? We always think nothing is going to happen. Cancer is a very, very expensive proposition. And
Yeah.
because you never know when, it's very unpredictable. You'll never know
That's
what's
true.
going to happen. So for us, fortunately, we had coverage with the organization that my husband works for since I was not working. But it's always good whichever country you are to get it and keep personal, because once you're detected, pre-existing diseases like cancer will not be covered by any insurance company. So I cannot get myself a personal health coverage now for cancer. It's like impossible in a way. So always better to get beforehand and keep.
It's shocking for me. I really never had an idea that insurance doesn't cover that if it's not
Pre-existing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for informing the people. Might be the ladies especially start taking care of themselves, and most of the men's also have a breast cancer as well. So don't feel like it's only for the ladies, it's men's as well. So make sure that you are having a checkup. Make sure that if any kind of a pain you have or any kind of a lump you feel, you go to the specialist. You don't keep it to yourself. Make sure at least to go for the test. The test, at least it will give you that peace of mind that there is nothing called cancer in your life. So let's talk about some mind and body now. So what is mind and body wellness? Let's start with Rano and Agnes. Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
So I feel like mind and body, it's kind of one thing. It's connected, like I said at the beginning. And I feel like if you are somebody who is really negative, or somebody who's going through a lot of stress, and you have these thoughts showing up in your head daily, it will show on your physical body at the end. You will develop an anxiety, panic attacks, or even you will start to feel like there's things that are not, like you will start have neck pain, or like it will show. And it goes as well the other way around. If you don't take care of your like physical health, like good nutrition, good lifestyle, fitness, it can affect your mental state. If you're just sitting at home and not doing anything, like you don't go out, that's what I see a lot happening nowadays with a lot of teenagers as well, because they are on their iPads, they are only their social life is through internet, right? So it kind of, I can see increasing depression between like teenagers, and this is something. So it's kind of like you need to be out there, and you need to take care of both mental and physical health.
Yeah. And I'm guilty that this auntie also does that sometimes. So it's not the kids only. Yeah, Rana.
That's very nice and honest of you, to accept it, because any change can happen only when you first accept it and
Yeah.
agree that, yes, I am in this space.
Yeah.
So I think so. We know most of the people who are especially in stress and anxiety. Agnes so very well put. I really like those points. I think they're in denial. They are having stress or they are having anxiety. They're completely in denial. So because I have been there all my life, I used to be so stressed, because being in private banking 10 years, I had a very high performing job, and then when my conditions, became so something like, health-wise. I never had that energy to even get up in the morning. That's when one day I decided, well, there's something seriously happening inside me. I really don't know what. So then I just quit. And my family and everyone was like, why have you quit such a highly paid, high performing job? Or what is wrong with you? I said, I just don't feel like doing this anymore. I think it's a journey I need to get into on my own. And it just started with so many studying. Thank God that I had done my psychology in my graduation, so I could pursue it further and do a deeper study in psychology, because that was the first place I wanted to be, to understand my body more. Then the whole journey of training, coaching, facilitator, everything started happening. But everything I did, Nigat, was only to make myself feel better, to make my whole, how I could come out of it. I took help of a lot of nutritionists and everything was there. Still, there was something, a disconnect constantly there between my mind and my heart. Or you could say my body and my mind, there's something not aligned. And that thing was always haunting me and creating that stress every time I calmed myself down. I had a very perfect regime of, doing yoga. Everything was in place, doing my breathing exercises. My yoga teacher was amazing. He used to, push me to that limit that all my body, everything was fine. But that stress wasn't going. And that stress was not going because I could see my gut was directly affected. My stomach was directly affected. I had that acid refluxes. I had that, indigestion issues. I had constipation issues, on and off, sometimes okay, sometimes not okay. And that's something I could see that my body is tightening up a lot, because every time I did that yoga, and it was like a massage for my body, because every time I did that yoga, I felt so nice and relaxed. And by the time at the end of the day, my muscles used to be so tight. Like anyone touching my just shoulders, like Agnes, oh yes, it was so stiff, it used to go. So I realized it's something I'm doing mentally and emotionally, which is really affecting my body very, very bad. So I started working more on emotions. And when I started working on emotions, I started realizing so much of holding we do of all the past events, experiences, small traumas, we literally ignore, because we're not even aware about ourselves. What do we like and what do we don't like? It's a simple communication can bring trauma inside our body, which can really, tense us. So it's a deeper connection than what we really think it is.
So let's talk about how a woman can find peace of mind even in these challenges. So let's start with Snehal. Snehal, how you find yourself a peace of mind?
So I have to say, the kind of journey that Ranu and Agnes were talking about, it really begins with that. The first is acceptance. Okay, you have to accept the condition that you're in right now. You have to accept the story that you are living right now. If you don't accept it, it's very difficult, right? The kind of situation that you're in. Growth can happen only after that. Once you have accepted what are you as a person, right? What do you bring to the table? What are your strengths? What are your things that you need to work on? Another thing that Ranu said is very true, because I had to go through the journey with my counselor, is dealing with the past. I had to heal a lot of wounds, and I had gone through a divorce when I was 30 years old, and I felt I had dealt with it. I felt I'd accepted it. But when I see the way I dealt with my cancer vis-a-vis how I dealt with my divorce was pure denial and distraction. Denied it happened and keep distracting with as many social events and going out and doing everything to distract myself. But whereas cancer was a far more self-reflective journey of how do I build my mental strength? How do I accept what's happening? How do I ask for help and be okay with asking for help? How do I know who is there for me and not there for me, and remove the toxic people from my life and be okay with it, right? That the few people are there in my life, they are the ones I want in my life, right? What do I I remember a very, it was not a harsh conversation, but it was a reality check. And I remember my counselor asking me this, whom are you trying to get better for? And I said, I'm getting better for my son, my husband. She's like, no, you have to get better for yourself, because they will, for all you know, move on with their life.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody moves on, right? and they will have a life, but you need to be there in that life the way you want to be there. You want to be there for all your sons first. So you better get well for yourself, because it's your selfish want that you want to be there. And that really hit home. I was like, oh my God, it took me some time, that you can't do it for other people. You have to do it for yourself. And I think that's the journey we have to make. And I think from there, then it's about really, as we say, trusting the journey.
Yeah.
You can't predict the outcome. Never can you predict an outcome. But what you can do is control whatever's in your control right now in terms of the process. Do that. And I think for mental well-being, or, how can women really get there? Acceptance, healing from the past, and then looking at a future forward motion.
That's true. Like once we are even setting for the goals, we usually ask this question: is this goal coming from your inner side, or is it something coming from the outside? Because you want somebody to be happy, or you want somebody to feel good, and you're trying to do this thing. So that's true. The motivation factors needs to be from your inside, guys. If you don't have something coming from inside, you will for sure get demotivated, or the willingness to achieve it will so far won't be that kind of a push, that kind of a willingness. Okay, so let's talk about how a woman can carry a balanced lifestyle. Let's start with Agnes, because this is a kind of a question where I feel like she's genius.
Well, I think that there's no balance, first of all. I don't think, because you need to think about time and energy, right? So when you know that there's something, there will be in your life, it's not like, okay, I have 20% time for this, 20% time for this. So I feel like you need to really see, let's say you have a plan, and I think it helps to kind of make a plan, like a schedule, like, and see what is the priority today or this week or this month, and then see how much time you need to spend that you can actually give it 100% of your energy. So you know how it is, even when I see it a lot I teach kids with special needs sports, so kids with ADHD, they do something and then that's it. They have lost focus. That means they gave 100% of their time for that short period of time, and then they lost focus. And then it's just like on and off, like it's not there anymore. So think about it. If you are doing something and you're working for like 2 hours, but you actually just work maybe 30 minutes, because for the rest of the hour and a half, you're scrolling on social media, you're thinking about something else, that's already, you have wasted that hour and a half and you're not present there anymore. So you need to stay present in that moment. So I believe it's like, even if you say you have a big project at work, you will spend maybe 2 hours, 3 hours of your time there, 100%, but you want to spend as well time with your loved ones, but you have only half an hour. But then make sure that half an hour is 100% of your energy spent, so you're not like doing anything else, you're not distracted, you're present there. So that, I feel like that helps a lot. And for me as well, it comes to the mind, wheel of life. I'm sure you all know wheel of life. It's like, your life is not one big picture. There's like areas. It's like your relationship, your career, your kids, so it's kind of like, okay, so which one of these areas now need my attention? You don't need to think like, okay, oh my God, this is all of it, I need to now be present in all of it. Like, just kind of see, okay, this is maybe needs my attention more today, so let me focus on that. So it's kind of like thinking about, don't burn yourself out. Just focus on things that need your attention, and you can give it 100% of your energy.
Yeah. What about you, Rana? What is your insight?
So I know what she's talking about, which is really very wonderful, Agnes. Because I actually do a lot of corporate sessions on work-life balance, and I completely agree what Agnes shared. There's no work-life balance. See, there is only life happening with you, and everything what you're doing, the balance has to be inside you. So when I say inside you, there's only 4 realms our life is in. One is mental, another is emotional, third is physical, and then the fourth is spiritual. If anywhere in between these 4 realms there is a disconnection, your balance is gone.
And
Now,
there's
whether
fifth
you
as
try
well.
to
That's your husband. That's another zone.
So no, that's another that's the myth there. That's the complete myth there. That's what happens generally, you know, when husband wives come and they say that we don't have a balance. I say first understand, do you have a balance? Rather than bringing in that we don't have a balance.
They are always in balance.
When the self-balance happens, that's when the couple balance happens. See, the first number one rule for a balance is that you need to first be honoring your own self, your own life. That is, are you living for yourself? Till you are not happy, nobody in your environment you can create happiness with. That's a very basic rule of life. And this is the reason, even if you go to the ancestral side of the whole Hindu philosophy, Hinduism, even you take it any, Christianity also, the whole thing is imbibed on that basic thing that you as an individual, when you are born and you're living that life, what is the purpose? What is the purpose for which you are living this whole life? So if your purpose is clear in your life, that's the first step towards having that balance within you. Now, after that, your mental and emotional state would be aligned to that purpose. There is nothing to, you know, move you. And you automatically, physically would feel very fit and you know, completely there. These are the concepts which actually need to be taught to the child right in the, you know, when they are up, they're growing up. Because this is something which is life. And life has to be taught to the child how to live that life. And you cannot create, you know, the balance doesn't happen on its own. You have to make it, you have to create it, you have to work towards it. And the first way is just like Agnes does a lot. That is physically, she does a lot of exercises. She gets them feeling good, confident and all when they're losing weight. Secondly, work on your emotions, guys. Emotions are the most important element of you because any hormones changes happening in your body, the first thing to be hit is emotions.
That's
And that is the space, if we do not have the alignment and control, you are gone. You will be mentally off, you will be physically off, you will be completely spiritually, you are as it is off.
Yeah.
So you know, the lot of the spiritual things we were been taught to do, like chanting, meditations, and lot more stuff. This was so that we can control those emotions aspect of ourselves, so that we can be, you know, aligned and know the goal and purpose of why am I living this life and what for we are living this life. And you don't live life for others, you live life for self. Women are never taught that. That's why women mental health becomes so crucial, because women are always taught you have to live for the family, you have to live for your brother, you have to live for your parents.
We have everyone on her hands.
Live for your husband, you have to keep him happy, you have to keep your children happy. Are Baba, you have to also keep yourself
Who makes
happy.
me happy? Tell me that basically. Who will make me happy?
That is the most crucial question, and that's why I do in my workshop, I do self-love as one of the biggest elements. That boss, you need to first give credit that you are who you are. You know, you are just one in million, nobody else is there like you. So give yourself credit, even though you are, you know, loud, it's okay, you are okay with it, everything is okay. First accept yourself the way you are. The problem in everything happens is, you know, like right from the beginning, I do have also two daughters. Okay. So the women thing in my family is like only one husband and three women, you know. So we
in your
always
house.
are on him. Oh yes, in my house. So it's always like that. So when the father would always try to make them do something right, they will always look at the father and they say, I'm okay the way I am. Papa, you need to accept us first like this. Then only we listen to you. So this comes from exactly the space when they listen to me when I am in the workshops with the teenagers. And one of them is into preteens. So they keep listening to all that, and that's where it comes from. So he said that this is not fair on me being the man. I said, you also need to stop criticizing your own self so much. You need to accept yourself. It's okay to not be the perfect parent.
Now, are you guys having a feminism at home now? That is like, please take care of me now.
So by the way, what is feminism? Feminism, again, please understand, even men can be feminist. Yeah. See, feminism is all about acceptance.
It's like the definition is taken in the wrong way. That's what I just said. It's like we all are feminists. We all support a woman. I'm a really in that place where I'm supporting a woman, and I always say the way the woman support another woman is something where we create magics, where the miracle happens. But if a woman is having a problem with another woman, the disaster and the health bonds there.
Oh yes, I completely agree to you. You know, women
Yeah.
has an amazing energy. You know, even
Yeah.
the Shiva and the Shakti. Shiva is incomplete without the Shakti. So the yin and the yang, these are all similar concepts. These just, you know, in their own ways, it is segregatedly different. So I completely am with women and also with men. It is not that I'm trying to differentiate the two, but I'm just trying to say
No, you
women are
cover up.
from
You said I'm with women,
women
and
are
then you say,
from
oh, I'm with
female.
men as well.
Yeah, because I have my husband, you know, my father. Without
Yeah.
them, my life would not be complete. My brother
Yeah.
is also there. Okay.
Yeah.
So women are from Venus, you know, and men are from Mars. The difference has to be there. The difference is just not at mental level. It is
And in the end, they
physically.
come to the earth to destroy it. That's all. So let's take it to another level. So I believe that, like the way you just said, emotional wellness, and the same time the Agnes said about fitness and how exactly that we need to take care of the health. So it's like, it's not that your body is broken, your brain needs attention as well. We usually ignore that part, and we just feel like we don't know what are the symptoms. We just feel like, oh, I am having a pain, so I need someone. I am having a jerk in my leg, so I need to go to a doctor. Or I feel like, okay, I should start drinking some water because my muscles are stiff or something like that. But for the brain, we usually ignore those red flags. We ignore those symptoms which we can feel, but we are just, oh, it's fine. Yeah, I had a rough day today, so that's why I'm having a headache. Or I don't want to meet today with anyone because I feel like I need my own time. But reality is this, you are going towards anxiety and depression sometimes, and you don't have any idea what's happening. So in the end, before closing today's episode, I guess we have taken a lot of time from the people. So how we can help our loved ones if they are going through something in their life. It could be cancer, it could be any struggle in their life. Like me and Agnes, we have an autistic child as well. So our emotional journey and thinking never stops as well. So how you feel like what someone can do to support or to help a person who is going in their life with some challenges or struggles? Yeah.
So I generally always advise, you know, these four dreams, work on all dreams of your life, mentally, physically, emotionally, and also spiritually. So one aspect, that is meditation, which we have learned from our ancestors, which is been there, you know, many people we know have done it. That is something you should always incorporate. You know, you do exercises, everything is good, but meditations are very important, very crucial for your mental ability to be calm, because it is in the thoughtlessness only creativity comes out.
Yeah.
And to reach that thoughtlessness, you have to be in that discipline to have it, do it every day. And meditation is not something so complicated, you know. It is a very simple process of just trying to bring a focus into one aspect. There are so many writers, when they write the book, they're actually in the meditative state when they're writing the book so deeply. Even the scientists, they get into deep meditative state when they are doing some experiments. So meditation is something just focusing on one aspect in your body or outside your body, however it is. So for women, it is more internal, and for men, it is external. So for women, they have to focus on themselves. Maybe one part of the body, maybe the breath, maybe just the chakras. When we do chakra meditation, then we say, okay, focus on one aspect of your chakras. So these are simple stuffs. Breath work is the best way to get into meditative state. So this is something I have always found very profound, because once you are focused and you get calmer there, you know, aligned calmer there, then the next step of what Agnes does, I'm sure she'll speak about it more, is physical aspect, you know. Then that also becomes more happening for you. And for mental, for your brain also to stop overthinking, you do need to meditate. Otherwise, you're in constant thinking process. And women are more, by the way, than men.
Yeah, we even speak silently as well. We're just watching you, but we are speaking in our minds.
Do you know there were experiments conducted that women, even in sleep, they think. Can you imagine? Women, even in sleep, they are thinking constantly.
Yeah. Our brain expires really quickly. Yes, Agnes.
So it was about how we can support others, right?
If
So
they
I
are
feel
going
like,
through.
I feel like even if somebody is not going through anything, but please keep checking in, like just for somebody to know that you have this other person interested in what is going on with you. It helps, like just to get this message. Like for me, this is I always wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I go to the gym, I train, and while I'm on my treadmill doing my cardio, I send messages to my friends just saying, how are you? Like, how is things? What is new? Like just to kind of keep in check and see if somebody needs any support, or like, just to feel like, okay, I have somebody in case if something goes wrong. And I have really, through these kind of things, just have my friends opening up and saying, oh, actually this happened and I don't feel very well. So in that way, I know. But sometimes people don't reach out. They will not reach out to you and say, I'm doing very bad, because they don't want to, they know that you're busy, they know maybe you don't have time. But if you give that firsthand and show that you're there, I think it means a lot, so yeah.
And people have some fear of judgment as well. That's why they really don't ask for the help. That's one of the reason as well. But if you are always available for them and they feel that this space is something where they can vent out anything, where they can have that affection, that nobody will judge them, might be you can get some early benefits there, that okay, I'm there for you, don't go towards anxiety, don't go towards the depression. Yes, Snehal, let's take it the ending.
I just
advice
want to
from
add
you.
here one more thing, that today we have really forgotten the true friendship. Why you become friends? You don't become friends to actually add anything there to in your friend's life. We are in a mission that, okay, how can I add value in your life? Guys, friends are not needed to add value there. Friends are just there for your emotional support. Just being there with your friend, giving that listening ear, and completely listening, rather than just okay. No, that is the why reason we need friends, where you can just call up even at a 3 a.m. and talk to that friend, and that friend is going to listen to you. In that point, that's where I think so. Where that's where the magic happens for people who want to commit suicides. Also, if they get that listening ear, they don't commit suicide. It's just because they're not getting that listening ear is when the suicides happen.
Yeah, when the thoughts come in your mind because nobody's listening to you. Yeah. Yes, Snehal.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I think what happened, when I got cancers, I did not tell a lot of people. And some people held that against me too, that, how come I wasn't told? And, you seem to be okay, now you probably don't need me. Honestly, I think we need to keep our judgments aside. It's not your story.
See?
It's about the other person. It's about what that person is going through. So just be kind, and just probably understand that, that person probably is not in the right space. Secondly, be there for the person the way the person wants you to be there, not the way you think is right. As, Agnes said, sometimes I just want to maybe have a cup of coffee with someone, and I don't want to discuss this. I want to discuss latest gossip, probably in Bollywood or Hollywood. I don't want to discuss my illness because I'm tired of discussing it. So be there for them the way they want you to be there. Try to see, just tell them that you're there to help. And if they need some help, they will come to you. I sometimes call up a friend and say, oh, I need this from India. And she'll do everything to source it for me, just to, see that how can she make my life easier for me. And that's the kind of, relationship that you want at this point of time. You don't want 10,000 people in your life. You need the few people who can support you and have a positive impact on your life, who can help you grow. Like my husband knows how, when to push me and when not to push me. There are times he'll just come and sit by me during my dark days when I feel that, everything is falling to pieces. He'll just come and sit by my side. But there will be times when he will push me, saying you're not doing enough with your life. You need to start thinking about doing something more or whatever. So learn that balance. And people do learn it. It's been 2 years that, suppose I'm going through, there other people will be going through some period of time. You get a sense of what the person is expecting of you. So respect that, just respect the new relationship that is forming between you two. It's not like the olden times. Things are going to change. Things are going to evolve. So, learn and understand that new relationship and its boundaries, and just be with the person in that way.
Thanks a lot, ladies, for giving me such insight and such amazing information, how to balance your mind and body, as well as how to have that cancer awareness, what exactly a cancer patient going through it, what are their challenges, how they want the world to come back to them. So I guess a lot of people have learned something here, and as well as we got a lot of information from Snehal as well, because she have been through this journey and she is going through it. So best of luck for the chemios and everything. And I'm really, really sorry that you're going through such pain, and I know how hard it is. And especially once, like the way you said that I have a child as well. So as a mom as well, I can just like feel it's really hard to know that I'm going through something and I don't know how it's gonna turn out. So that's from my side. Do you guys want to add anything here, Rano and Agnes?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I've gained so much more clarity as well about the breast cancer. Like I have had people in my family with breast cancer, but it wasn't really that close to me. So it does bring a lot. And I'm thinking I need to go check myself. I haven't done it for probably 10 years. My breast cancer. So, and I just wanted to wish you the best, Snehal, and I want to hear your future journey, and I will keep following you to see how you're doing. Your inspiration, I think, to many people. And it was nice to meet you as well, Ranu. And thank you so much. And please take care of yourself, all of you.
Thank you. Yes, Rano.
Thank you, Nikka. Thank you for inviting me. And it's such a lovely topic you've taken today. And Snehal, thank you for sharing your story. It takes a lot of courage, actually, to share a part of your life. And, people do fear judgments, just like you shared, and boundaries are important in life. And amazing, Snehal, it's so good to meet you. And yes, Agnes, it was so amazing to know the kind of depth of work you do on the body and mind. And that's so amazing to know, because I have been there, post pregnancy, losing weight and feeling that confidence. Yes, I can so relate to what you do and how it impacts you. So I have only one message for every woman. Guys, be kind to yourself. You need that kindness. Give it to yourself. You do deserve it. You are one and only one. So create that relationship first with you, of intimacy, of love. Then only you will feel the change around you. Because this is where we women miss out maximum. And this is where we need to understand the bond is first created with ourselves. That's all, Nikhat. I'm always love coming on the show with you. So thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you everyone for joining me today, and the audience who is watching us, or the listeners who are listening us today. So thank you very much for your time. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. With that, there is a Domestic Violence Awareness Month as well. I have started an awareness program that's called Reach Out Victim. It's like hashtag Reach Out Victim. So please make sure if you're in the UAE, you are sharing those posters or creating some domestic violence awareness to the people. So someone who might need a help, they can come to you or come to anyone where they can address that what the domestic violence look like, or if they're going through it, they can have that kind of air where they can speak to someone, because we are living in UAE, and a lot of people are living as a nuclear family and they don't have friends and family around them, and in the end either they're ending up in the anxiety, depression, or sometimes suicidal thought as well. And I'm going through with a lot of posts on the social media, so that's come to my mind that let's create some space where the people can come out and reach to someone if they don't want to go to authorities. So please make sure to use hashtag Reach Out Victim, and there's a post on my LinkedIn, so you can just share with your friends and family if there is someone who wants to speak to me on domestic violence. So I'm here to help you out and to tell you about laws and rules and regulation in UAE. So thank you, and see you next time with another episode of the Coach's Couch. Bye and take care. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.